You see her name on your phone, and your heart starts beating faster. Your mind is already writing a message before your self respect even has time to speak. You want to say something clever, something emotional, something that will pull her closer, but deep down, you also feel something else: pressure, fear, the feeling that if you don't act right now, you might lose her. Let me tell you something most men never hear. The moment you feel the urge to chase is the exact moment you need to slow down. Right now, you believe texting her again will make things better. You believe explaining yourself will fix the distance. You believe showing more effort will make her value you more. But what if I told you the opposite is often true? And later in this video, I will show you the exact moment when silence becomes more powerful than words. Most men miss that moment, and that mistake quietly pushes her away because attraction is not built on pressure. It is built on emotional safety, curiosity, and respect. Here is the truth that might feel uncomfortable at first when you chase too much. You slowly lower your position in her mind. Not because she is a bad person, but because human psychology works in a very simple way. We value what feels rare. We feel drawn to what does not feel desperate. Think about it honestly. When someone keeps messaging you again and again, explaining, asking, pushing for attention, does it feel attractive or does it feel heavy? Your energy speaks before your words do. When you chase, your energy says, I am afraid to lose you. But when you stay calm, your energy says, I value myself too. And confidence is silent. Silence does not mean you don't care. Silence means you care about yourself enough to not beg for attention. There is a powerful shift that happens when you stop chasing. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your mind keeps telling you to reach out, to fix things, to make sure she does not forget you. You start checking your phone more often. You replay conversations in your head. You wonder if she is thinking about you or if she has already moved on. This is the moment where most men break, but this is also the moment where strong men grow because silence creates space, and space creates curiosity. When you are always available, always replying instantly, always trying to prove your value, there is no mystery left, no emotional space for her to wonder about you, and attraction needs curiosity to breathe. Another thing I will explain later is why distance often increases respect when it comes from strength, not ego. There is a big difference, and understanding this difference can change how people see you. Many men believe they need to constantly remind a woman of their presence, but attraction is not built through reminders. It is built through emotional experience. If being with you feels calm, confident, and grounded, she remembers that feeling. And feelings are stronger than words. The problem is, when you start chasing, you shift the emotional dynamic. Instead of being the man she enjoys, you slowly become the man who seeks validation. And once that shift happens, attraction becomes harder to maintain. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who is truly interested in you. Remember this line, because this is your foundation now. The right person respects your silence. Read that again slowly in your mind. The right person respects your silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is emotional control. When you stop reacting to every small change, every delayed reply, every moment of distance, you show emotional strength. And emotional strength creates stability. Stability creates trust, and trust creates deeper connection. You don't lose your value when you stop chasing, you reveal your value. Because a man who is constantly trying to keep someone often forgets to keep himself. Your peace matters, your dignity matters, your emotional balance matters. When you start choosing your self-respect over temporary attention, something powerful happens. You stop feeling desperate for responses and start focusing on your own direction. You begin to understand that attraction is not created through pressure, but through presence. A calm man is rare today. Most men react quickly. They double text. They explain too much. They try to fix things that don't need fixing. But a man who can stay centered, even when emotions are high, stands out naturally. Because emotional discipline shows maturity, and maturity feels safe. When she sees that your mood does not depend on her replies, She starts seeing you differently, not as someone who needs her, but as someone who chooses her. And being chosen feels better than being chased. Many men fear silence because they think silence means losing connection. But forced connection is not real connection. Real connection grows when both people choose each other freely, not out of pressure, not out of guilt, not out of fear, but out of genuine interest. You are not trying to control her feelings, you are building your standards, because when your standards rise, your behavior changes, and when your behavior changes, people respond differently to you. Confidence is not loud, it does not beg, it does not rush. Confidence is patient. Confidence understands timing. Confidence knows that what is meant for you does not require you to abandon yourself. So instead of chasing attention, start attracting respect. Instead of reacting emotionally, start observing calmly. Instead of trying to hold someone tightly, allow space for them to come closer naturally, because the right connection does not require force, and the right person respects your silence. In the next part, we will talk about the subtle signs that show when distance is actually increasing attraction, and when silence becomes your strongest advantage without saying a single word. When you step back, something interesting happens. At first, it feels like nothing is changing. Your phone stays quiet. The conversation pauses, and your mind starts creating stories that make the silence feel bigger than it really is. You begin to wonder if stepping back was a mistake. You question if you should send just one small message just to keep things warm. But what you don't see yet is what is happening on the other side. When your energy is no longer chasing, the dynamic changes. The pressure disappears. The constant reassurance stops. And suddenly, your presence is no longer predictable. Predictability can feel comfortable, but it rarely creates excitement. When someone knows they can have your attention anytime they want, they slowly stop valuing it the same way. Human nature responds to contrast. When something that was always there becomes less available, the mind pays attention. Stepping back is not a game. It is a shift in focus. You are not stepping back to manipulate someone. You are stepping back to reconnect with your own center. And here is the psychology behind it. When you stop reaching out constantly, you create emotional space. Space allows reflection. Reflection allows appreciation. When you are always present, there is nothing to reflect on. No time to miss your energy. No chance to feel the difference between having you and not having you. Absence is not about disappearing. It is about allowing your presence to be felt more deeply, because familiarity without appreciation slowly weakens attraction. But distance, when done with dignity, often increases respect. The right person respects your silence. When you stop sending messages just to maintain attention, you remove the feeling of obligation. Now the connection becomes a choice again. And when someone feels free to choose, their actions become more honest. This is when you start seeing clarity. If they reach out, it comes from interest. If they invest, it comes from intention. If they return, it comes from genuine curiosity. You are no longer forcing interaction. You are observing effort. And effort reveals truth faster than words. But let's be honest, knowing this does not always make it easy. The urge to text can still feel strong, especially during quiet moments. Late at night, early morning, when your mind is not busy, it goes back to what feels unresolved. You start thinking about what you could say. You imagine different outcomes. You wonder if one message could bring everything back to how it felt before. This is where discipline becomes your advantage, because every time you resist the urge to chase, you strengthen your self-control. And self-control builds confidence from the inside. Here is something practical you can do when the urge appears. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I reaching out because I feel calm or because I feel anxious? If the answer is anxiety, give yourself time. Emotion is temporary. Regret can last longer. Instead of reacting immediately, delay your action. Give yourself 1 hour, sometimes even 1 day. When you create a gap between feeling and action, your decisions become clearer. Most emotional mistakes happen in moments of urgency. Strong men slow down those moments. Another powerful shift happens when you redirect your focus daily. Instead of checking your phone repeatedly, You begin checking your progress. Progress builds attraction naturally because it builds you. Start filling your day with movement. Exercise regularly. Improve your appearance. Learn new skills. Strengthen your finances. Expand your mindset. When your life feels full, you don't feel empty waiting for a notification. Your energy becomes balanced. And balanced energy is attractive. You are no longer looking for someone to complete your day. You are inviting someone to share your already meaningful life. People feel that difference immediately. When your attention is not constantly available, your presence feels more valuable, not because you are pretending to be busy, but because you actually are building something real. Purpose is magnetic. Direction is magnetic. Emotional stability is magnetic. When your life is moving forward, you naturally stop chasing what feels uncertain because your time becomes important, your peace becomes important, your standards become visible through your actions. The right person respects your silence. Notice what happens inside you when you truly accept this. The pressure begins to fade. The fear of losing someone slowly loses control over your decisions because you understand something powerful. Attention is not love. Consistency is not connection, and chasing is not attraction. Attraction grows when both people feel free, not when one person feels responsible for holding everything together. Your job is not to convince someone to stay interested. Your job is to become someone who does not abandon himself for attention. Every time you choose patience over panic, you raise your emotional value. Every time you choose growth over overthinking, you strengthen your mindset. Every time you choose silence over chasing, you protect your dignity. The right person respects your silence. And when you live by this, something inside you becomes calmer. You stop trying to control outcomes. You stop trying to force timing. You stop trying to predict every emotional shift. You simply focus on becoming stronger, clearer, more grounded. Because the truth is, when someone feels your absence and realizes your value, they respond differently. And when they don't, you still win because you did not lose yourself trying to keep someone uncertain. In the next part, we will go deeper into the hidden behaviors that quietly reduce attraction without you noticing, and how small changes in your actions can completely shift how you are perceived without saying more or doing more. When distance creates space, one of two things happens. Either they begin to feel your absence, or they continue moving in their own direction. And this is where your clarity becomes stronger than your emotions. If they come back, the most important thing you can do is stay grounded. Do not rush to recreate the same dynamic that made you feel uncertain before. Just because someone returns does not mean everything automatically improves. Real change is shown through consistency, effort, and respect for your time. When they reach out again, keep your pace calm. Respond with maturity, not excitement that erases your standards. You are not trying to punish anyone, but you are also not ignoring what you learned during the silence. Pay attention to actions, not promises. Anyone can say they missed you. Anyone can say they were busy. Anyone can say things will be different, but meaningful connection is built on behavior over time. Let them meet you at your level. Let them show emotional availability. Let them show respect for your space. Healthy attraction grows slowly. It does not require urgency to survive. When you move slowly, you protect yourself from repeating the same pattern. You allow trust to rebuild naturally instead of forcing comfort too quickly. And most importantly, you do not abandon the self-respect you built during the distance. The right person respects your silence. If they come back with genuine effort, your silence helped create clarity for both of you. It showed that connection must be mutual, not one-sided. Now let's talk about the other possibility. If they don't come back, your silence still gave you something valuable. It gave you truth, because silence removes illusion. When you stop reaching out, stop reminding, stop maintaining contact alone, you finally see whether the connection existed equally or only through your effort. And truth allows you to move forward without confusion. Many men stay emotionally stuck, not because the connection was strong, but because the ending was unclear. They keep thinking maybe they should try one more time, say one more thing, explain one more feeling. But closure does not always come from conversation. Sometimes closure comes from acceptance. If someone does not invest, they are already giving you an answer. And when you accept that answer calmly, you protect your dignity. You do not need to chase clarity from someone who is comfortable giving distance. You create your own clarity by observing reality. The right person respects your silence. When someone truly values your presence, they do not disappear without explanation. They do not leave you confused for long periods of time. They do not expect unlimited understanding while giving minimal effort. Effort is attractive, consistency is attractive, mutual interest is attractive. And when those things are missing, silence helps you see the imbalance faster. Moving forward does not mean you stop caring about connection. It means you become more selective about where you invest your attention. Because attention is emotional currency, and where you invest it shapes your future experiences. When you carry dignity through disappointment, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that your stability does not depend on someone else's decision. That is real confidence. Confidence is not thinking you will never be rejected. Confidence is knowing rejection does not reduce your worth. Your value does not decrease because someone could not see it clearly. And the moment you truly accept this, relationships stop feeling like emotional survival and start feeling like conscious choice. Silence reveals truth either way. If they return with effort, truth becomes visible. If they disappear without effort, truth becomes visible. Either way, you gain clarity. And clarity gives you direction. Let's bring everything together quickly. Chasing creates pressure, and pressure reduces attraction. Silence creates space, and space creates clarity. Stepping back allows you to observe effort instead of forcing attention. Focusing on your growth builds confidence naturally. Setting boundaries protects your emotional balance. Accepting outcomes protects your dignity. The right person respects your silence. One simple action step you can start today: stop reacting instantly. The next time you feel the urge to chase attention, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself if your action is coming from confidence or fear. Choose the response that protects your self-respect. Small decisions create strong habits. Strong habits create strong presence. And strong presence attracts the right people naturally. Because when you stop trying to control who stays, you start attracting those who truly want to stay. Calm energy is powerful. Self-respect is powerful. Emotional discipline is powerful. You are not losing control when you stop chasing. You are gaining stability. And stability creates deeper connection than pressure ever could. The right person respects your silence. Carry that mindset with you, not only in relationships, but in every interaction where your value deserves recognition. And if you are ready to understand the deeper behaviors that instantly increase attraction without changing who you are, watch the next video now.